Hello all and welcome to episode 10 of season 2 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. Good evening, Lily, or good morning, wherever you're listening to this. But it is the evening for us as we're recording. How goes it?
It goes well, Lauren. It goes very well indeed. I was about to say thank you for having me, like I was some sort of like random guest. Thank you for having me on your podcast, Lauren.
I did a really big intro there, that's why. I was more professional than usual. You're just not used to it.
I know, yeah. I can't believe it's season 2 every time. You know, I just think about those commissioners giving us a second season. The commissioners being us.
So grateful every day.
The commissioners are the audience. The audience, you know. Our listeners. You are the commissioners. You are the listener commissioner, baby girl.
That's right, Commissioner Gordon. Love it.
And if I can't think of a name of this episode, it's probably going to be called The Listener Commissioner. But we'll see.
We'll see if we can manage to come up with anything funnier in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Okay.
Well, I don't know if people remember, but it did start off that I used to try and do like punny titles, like
it's a lot of pressure
for the episodes. Well,
too much pressure.
It wasn't necessarily pressure. It was just that, you know, I think we've done now 62 episodes, possibly, maybe, or just under. We're definitely done about 60, and I can't think of that many puns, quite frankly.
You run out. You run out of puns.
It's not going to happen.
There's only so many in the world.
Yeah.
How was your Easter weekend, Lee? I see you're still drinking. I saw your little gin on your Insta story just and I was like, oof, it is always fun when I have a little gin when we record, but I'm on a late night tea, actually. I can't do it after a long weekend on it. It's just I just need a break.
I know what you mean. So what I did is I poured one of my regular gin, clean gins, my non-alcoholic gin.
Yeah.
But I only had enough for one, and I got a taste for it.
Oh, that's
so I'm on technically my first proper gin. So I'm not gonna, because I don't want to get like drunk. Listen, my Easter weekend was fine, but what I will say is, I feel like I'm gonna get like this now until maybe I have kids, but I just don't see the point of it. I just don't see the point of Easter.
Specifically. Oh.
I just keep thinking, it's like, you know, Tesco closed on Sunday. Like, loads of places were forced to close. Like, I just thought that it's the only other time other than Christmas. I get it at Christmas, but I just didn't understand why it still has to be over Easter. It's such a stupid holiday. Like, no offense to anyone who's religious, but for God's sake, the very fact that it changes every year, I'm like, he didn't do like every other weekend coming back from the dead. It was the same weekend. Can't we pin it down to one weekend? It annoys me.
Someone's tried to explain that to me in the past about the calendars.
Yeah, isn't it something to do with like,
or the sun or something?
Sun or something, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Son of God, son of something, whatever. Sick of the sun. Anyway, my Easter weekend was fine. I had drinks. Well, I was in London actually just before, but I came back on the Friday. I hosted a bingo night.
I saw. That's the second time you've done that once. It's going well.
It is. Third time actually. Well, we did 2 on the same couple of days. Then I went back down. Yeah, we do like a boozy bingo, so it's quite good. Is it a bit ticketed? Raucous, actually.
Like, because you said it was like a bottomless brunch kind of thing. So it's ticketed. You get your booze included in that, do you?
Yeah, you get like you pay, and then you get like half a bottle of Prosecco. And then you can like pay more, obviously, but you win loads of prizes. So you can win Prosecco and you can win shots and shit prizes. We have like I'm giving it all away now. This is copyright for anyone who wants to listen to this. But we have like a thing where if they get a line, they get entered into something called shit or shot. So they either get a round of shots for the table or they get a shit prize. And often they prefer the shit prizes.
I was going to say, not everyone likes a shot, so you might want the shit prize to take home.
They're nice shots, though. It's like passion fruit vodka. It's quite nice.
Oh, I'd be up for that. I had a good few shots the weekend as well in Yorkshire. I was up in Yorkshire. What is with, like, everyone's drinking Jaeger bombs out of them cups still, which I'm fine with. But Babyguinnesses are back in Yorkshire.
Where the shot where the shot is stuck into the glass.
Yeah, and you feel like the cup is eternally sticky because they get stacked up. And I'm always like, ugh, this feels sticky before I've even drunk it. But yeah, so I had a few of them. But Babyguinnesses, they're all the rage in Yorkshire, in Sheffield and Harrogate.
And what are they?
It's, oh my God, what's on the bottom? It's got Baileys on the top.
Is
that
it
makes
Guinness?
the foam. Is it Guinness? No, it's not. Oh my God, I'm going to have to Google it. But it's so weird because they used to be really trendy in the noughties and now they're like back. But
I can't say I've ever had one. Did you ever?
No, it's Kahlua or Tia Maria. It's Tia Maria and Baileys.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
It looks like
That's nice. That's basically an espresso martini without the vodka.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
it looks
it's very
like
sweet.
A Guinness. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the fad because it's not even that strong.
Oh, I just thought it was like a shot of Guinness. I just thought like they'd poured it very soon.
God, that'd be an art, wouldn't it?
A tiny pump. They have a specialist pump just for baby Guinness. Did you ever used to have a shot called, oh God, it's awful, squashed frog?
No. What the fuck? I thought you were going to say a blowjob. I had a few of them in my time.
And afterwards she might have a shot, if you know what I mean.
Wink, wink. What's the squash frog?
Dirty girl.
Dirty girl. Yes.
I don't know what's in a squash frog, and to be quite honest, I don't even want to search what's in a squash frog, but it looked like a squash frog, so I think it was like grenadine and like some green thing. It basically looked like a frog had been squashed and died.
That's disgusting.
And I don't know, it's just reminded me of the shots you used to get. Squashed frog was one of them. Ugh. Anyway, I can't. I'm all about the tequila. I can't do sambuca. Sambuca makes me retch. I can't do it. I don't really like aniseed.
Do you know? I love aniseed, so I never used to mind that when we were younger, but now thinking about it, the stickiness. If you ever got that on your clothes, like I was saying, a Jaeger bomb is sticky because it's like sugary. That's fine, but a sambuca, it's like thick. Oh God, I want to vomit just thinking about it. It's disgusting. It's too much.
It's triggering, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's triggering.
It's the stickiness. Oh, it's like tar.
Well, would you put that into Room 101? That's the question, because...
Go on.
Segue alert.
Segas
alert. We have decided that episode 10 of season 2 is we are bringing back, by popular demand / we couldn't really think of something to do, so we're rehashing it. Room 101. We did this in season 1. And we chose some Room 101s. Hopefully we've got some new ones. But what I've done, Lauren, you won't believe this. I've actually put some time and effort into this fucking podcast this week
I have
/ day.
I'm so proud of
past
this.
hour.
Yeah, the last half an hour.
So I have got some... I put on my platforms, #platforms today, my Twitter, my Instagram, and I asked... what people would want to put in Room 101 if they could. Now, I'll read some of them out as we're going along, but I just want to say right now, the differences between Twitter and Instagram have really made me piss.
Oh my God.
Twitter,
I saw your Twitter very briefly, but I've not seen the Insta. Well, I can't because it's direct to you, isn't it? So I can't wait to hear the difference.
Well, Twitter is basically like Brexit, every MP in this Tory government, Boris Johnson, and Instagram's like, oh, I'm not really keen on polystyrene. Like, it's a very like difference of the way people are. It just shows how angry people are on Twitter and how kind of like. And I prefer Instagram in the sense of their answers, like, because I'm like, I want trivial things. I just did a Facebook, an Instagram live, and someone said I would put rapists and murderers in Room 101, and I said to them, listen, I think we're all kind of in the same page.
Yeah, like, I think the police have got their own Room 101, and they're doing that for us.
Yeah, I think it's called prison. Like, but I kind of was trying to say to them, like, we want like trivial things, like pet peeves, things that annoy you, things that you just like, I could do without this. Like, you know, there's not many people who are going, you know what, murderers and rapists, I like them. You know,
I'm going to fight for him. I'm going to
around.
fight for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah. No one's if you sent that into room 101, they'd go, yeah. No, we're happy to put that in. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, great. Like, so it just made me laugh. It's like rapists and murderers. Okay,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that's going straight in. Like,
Well,
Um,
what else
so-
did you have apart from polystyrene? Because that's quite a popular one. I don't
Oh,
mind it myself,
polystyrene.
but people hate
it
it,
goes
don't they?
right through me. Have I ever told
Does
you
it?
about the time when I bit into a profiterole?
And it was polystyrene.
So, no. So basically, my sisters always ripped the shit out of me for this. But when I was younger, we were eating at the dinner table and we'd got some profiteroles for dessert because obviously, you know, something was going great in life. And we were
Yeah,
just,
because you've always been
you know,
living
where
that
did it
Fab
all go? But, you know, they weren't that great because they were frozen profiteroles, probably from like Iceland or whatever.
Iceland
Not
special,
talking about
hon.
the place. Yeah. So I bit into a profiterole, which was clearly not defrosted enough, and it gave me the same feeling of when I touch polystyrene, it
Goes through,
literally makes my body, it's like kryptonite.
Yeah.
And even thinking about it now, I'm getting a mini shiver. Anyway, I was getting that with profiterole, so I couldn't eat it, and like my dad had a go at me because he thought I was just being dramatic, and I cried, and I was like, I can't eat this profiterole. But I always remember because every time I bit into the, like, obviously the frozen cream inside the fucking profiterole, like it was going right through my body.
I can
So
imagine.
polystyrene, like, I'm definitely for. Now, so Twitter, we had Boris Johnson came up a lot, and actually that did come up a lot in Instagram, on Instagram as well. We had someone on Twitter was being a bit like fucking, you know, a bit narky, and was like, I'd put room 101 into room 101 so that people stopped asking me what I'd put in room 101.
Oh,
I was like,
smart Alex.
Sorry, I breathed. Someone put the cabinet, COVID, and Brexit. Brexit. I'm like, bloody hell, are people still going on about bloody Brexit? But then we had hay fever. Now, hay fever, I'm lucky that I don't get. I do not get hay fever. As in, like, I understand it. I get why you would want to put it in.
I just don't get it.
I don't physically suffer. Do you?
Do you know what? I've not had it recently, but I've always got an antihistamine nearby because I'm allergic to dust, basically. And when I was a kid, I used to get hay fever, like, really bad. Like, it would affect, like, going to dancing and stuff because I just couldn't see through my eyeballs because they were streaming so much. And Freddie gets it a bit, but it does depend on the pollen. So I've not had it properly in years, but I did live in Shoreditch for a bit. Oh, the pollen count. And I remember when I lived in Shoreditch for a couple of years, like, right in the centre of Shoreditch, it got really bad, and there was obviously, like, a local
hark at her.
tree.
Right in the centre of Shoreditch.
Right in the centre of Shoreditch. Oh, how the tides have turned.
And there was so much pollen around in my orchard, you know, vineyard that surrounded me. And
I was living in the park. I was living outside. That's why I could live there.
She was homeless.
Just living on Shoreditch Park, sniffing the trees. Yeah, it was bad then. So I get it. I get hay fever. If you suffer, you suffer. Oh, it can be a dreadful.
Yeah, I would happily put that in, even though I've never suffered. Although
It's 'cause you're a good
I do
person.
find it quite well. No, I was going to say I quite like the fact that I don't suffer from it. It kind of makes me feel like I've got a little bit of, you know,
like you're
elevation.
elite.
So would I? Yeah. So would that take away my eliteness if no one suffered from it? So for that reason, I'm not going to put hay fever into room 101.
Don't worry, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that make you feel elite that you can focus on if we get rid of hay fever.
Well, here's one of them that someone suggested. Jess Glynn. Now, she does make me feel elite when she got turned away from Sexy Fish that time because she was basically in a shell suit.
Oh,
Do you
yes, she
remember it?
was. Well, a
Someone
lot of people
said
don't
Jess
like
Glynn.
Jess
I
Glynn.
thought, oh, hatred. Yes, they put her in the same realm as Rita Ora as well. A lot of people don't like Rita Ora, you know.
Divas. Absolute divas. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Someone put Mrs. Brown's Boys. I would pull the lever before they'd even finish the sentence.
Yeah, me too. It'd come up on that old one and just drop it. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And there's so many memes, aren't there, about it? And I'm like, well, it's like everyone bitches about Boris Johnson, but it's like, well, someone's fucking voting for him. It's the same with Mrs. Brown's Boys. There's so many memes about it. Like, if you're my friend and you watch it and enjoy it, we can't be friends anymore. And I'm like, well, someone's fucking watching it because it's on prime time. BBC.
Yeah, people are secret watchers now, aren't they? They're like, they refuse to say it. Secret Tory voters, secret Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Same
watchers.
Bracket, absolute same bracket of people.
Now here's one that was quite interesting to read. It was private number plates. Now, it's not something that would immediately spring to mind, but you know what? I don't know if I like them. I think
when
they're a
you're
bit
younger,
common.
when you're younger and you're from like a working class town, you kind of see that and you go, oh, they're doing well in life. But you're very young and naive. And now when you're older, you just think, what an absolute tosser.
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of agree with that. That's probably quite a popular one, I would say.
Yeah. So they were from Twitter, most of them. What about you? Have you got any specifics for you? I'll read out some Instagram ones later.
I've got mine for myself because I was having, you always do your thinking time on the loo or in the shower, I always think. So I was having a long shower this morning and I was like, what am I gonna talk about? I just couldn't think. And then I've got 3 things and they all begin with a B. My 3 Bs to go in room 102.
Oh, shall I see if I can guess?
Oh yeah, go on.
Would I be able to guess? Are they trivial things? They're not. It's not Brexit, is it?
No, it's not Brexit. Although, we'll plop that in there as well. It's fine.
Boris is definitely one of them. Is Boris one of them?
No, I didn't go. I try not to go to obvious. The first one's quite controversial because I feel like it's like popular, and I just don't like it. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on.
Britain's Got Talent. Did I say this last time?
Oh right. I can't remember. No, I don't know.
I just don't really like, me, I'm not big into reality TV, and that's just like makes me cringe
Hold
sometimes.
on, Lauren. I think you've got a slight buzz on your microphone there.
We are experiencing technical difficulties, but rest assured we will be back with you very shortly.
So Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, it's it just makes me cringe. I don't like reality kind of shows and competition. And then when people are really disappointed...
And that's just come back this weekend, hasn't it?
Well, that's what made me think. I've been seeing it all over my gram and I'm like, oh God, I can't believe it's back. And it makes me cringe when people are clearly really bad and then they make them do the whole performance and then they tell them why they're bad and the person doesn't understand and that makes me a bit sad. You get all the emotions and you're like, I shouldn't be feeling this on my own couch. It just makes me want to...
Well, you must remember when I was getting hounded every year to do Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I said no every single time. Now, I had a friend who was working on Britain's Got Talent and they approached me. This friend didn't approach me. He was like a runner on it, I think. And one year they approached me to do comedy on it. They were desperate to get comedians on Britain's Got Talent. And I said no, I didn't want to do it. I was just starting out in comedy. They'd seen like a 5-minute clip online. And then the next year, they'd obviously found me on Facebook, and I obviously had a mutual friend with the guy who was previously like a runner, and now he was like assistant producer or whatever. And he like basically asked me to do it, and I was like no. And then the next year, he like pretty much kind of hinted at that they'd really kind of tasked him to get me in and like, and was like, so he's like, could you at least meet the producers? So I was like, you know what, there'll be no harm in me going to meet the producers. What I didn't realise, which mostly is common knowledge now, but do you know when like you see the footage of Britain's Got Talent and X Factor and stuff, and they film like loads of people waiting in the foyers and stuff and everyone like queuing up. They're not for the judges, they're for the producers. They're people queuing to meet the producers, to meet them in the first round. So I was like, oh my God, this is not how it is. So I went in and I remember thinking, well, I'm not going to be sat here waiting for hours on end. And they were like, oh, no, you come straight through. And they introduced me to this guy. I don't know if I've told this story. And it was the year that they just got the golden buzzer. And he was like, listen, I can't say too much, but, you know, we could ensure that you at least get to the semi-finals. And I was going, well, you can't ensure that. Like, no, like, because the thing with comedy is sometimes you can die on your arse. Like,
yeah,
I could still do that. I could still have a bad gig. And so it's like, you can't just fake it. So
yeah.
Anyway, I said no. And then the next year they asked, and then they obviously gave up and got loads of different comedians. But I don't know, like for some comedians, it's great and they've done really well. Like I know a couple that have done really well from it. And I'm like, brilliant, hats off to you. But for me, I just couldn't. It just is too manufactured for me. I just couldn't do it.
And I think as a comedian on it, like, because comedians have won, haven't they? Has a comedian won, actually? I don't really watch it, but how do you level up after you've been on that? You know what I mean? Like, because you want to get to like...
Lost Voice guy won. You know the guy who couldn't speak? He's called Lost Voice Guy.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to Google him. But yeah, you need to like level up after it. And like singers can release an album, blah, blah, blah. But you don't see any of them comedians like having an arena tour or having a sketch show on the telly or anything. So you made the right decision. I support you. But yeah, I think that does my head in with them. Like, I know that these poor sods who are really bad at singing or whatever they've chosen to do have gone into the producers, and the producers have gone, we're going to put you through because you're really entertaining. Like, oh, it just makes me cringe. Ugh.
And that's why I think the rise of, you know, because like X Factor, for example, has gone, and Britain's Got Talent isn't as bad as X Factor was. Like,
I do like the dancing. I do like the dancing on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, and they are changing because the culture has changed. Like, we're so much more aware of mental health now that it's actually not okay to laugh at people with vulnerabilities. Whereas if you look back, and I'm guilty of this, like I remember watching X Factor auditions when I was younger and crying with laughter over like the Chicken Man, for example, who like sung Tragedy and he worked in a chicken shop and it was like terrible. Or, you know, I look back at some other auditions where they're like, I'm a star, or, you know, there was a really big girl once and he started taking the piss out of her dress and stuff, and you know, we all laughed at that. We all laughed at that at the time, though. We thought it was hilarious because it was okay to laugh at people like that, but it was only until the culture changed where we were like, this isn't okay. Like, there's people with real kind of mental health problems here that we're picking on it. It was the equivalent, I dare say, of like the Colosseum in Rome. And that's why X Factor used to hammer Strictly Come Dancing in the ratings. But eventually... and
it's like a soap opera version. Yeah, because Strictly's kind of...
Well, I also think it's because Strictly punches up, whereas X Factor punch down. So, you know, you even have your Craig Revel Horwoods on there. And when you did have people like Anne Widdecombe or whatever who are terrible, and Craig would be a little bit mean towards them, but always with a twinkle in his eye. And also, they were celebrities. They were being paid to be on there. You know, it was very different than these people being sold a dream.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know if I'm ready to put Britain's Got Talent into
I know it's not going to go in
yet,
but it just is...
But you just can't bear it. You don't like... Yeah.
It just makes me cringe.
The thing is, for me, the comedian thing for me was, you know, maybe if they'd have asked me now and it would have only just come out, I might have done it. But at the time, I was just starting out in comedy, and I remember thinking, I need to earn my stripes before I just go and
it's all about timing.
Prime time TV show like that.
Exactly.
I wasn't desperate for fame, babes. I wasn't desperate for the fame.
He'd do anything for it now, though.
Oh, darling. Now that's a show I'd go on. Fame Academy. Oh, Daniel Schnedden.
Oh my God.
I bloody love
my
Daniel
grandma
Schnedden.
used to love Fame Academy. She used to love it, honestly. My other two Bs, one I've already mentioned, so we're just going to gloss over it, is Baileys. I don't get it, and people go wild for it, but I'm sick to death when it comes to Christmas. People are like, oh my God, it's December's here, I've got my glass of Baileys and I'm watching telly or whatever. I'm just like, no, come on now. Have a hot chocolate or have an alcoholic beverage. You can't be having that weird milky booze in the middle. It just is.
Oh, it's lovely. I just don't. This is the thing.
I couldn't remember whether you liked
like wine
it
either.
Yeah, I'm such a freak.
You don't like wine either. Have you ever thought you're the problem? Because what I like to do is I like to watch Britain's Got Talent with a Baileys in one hand and a wine in the other, and you're just ruining my dreams.
I've just fucked it. Yeah, I know that's another one that's not going in, but I had to get it out there because I've never liked it. And
right.
The Hotel Chocolat's chocolate version of it, like version of a Baileys, is very nice.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
and I'm not normally one for. I just don't like to mix my dessert with my booze. You know, that's my problem.
Well, sometimes what I do is like if I don't like the other week actually, I didn't want a dessert, but I got a Baileys.
Sure.
Because it felt like a dessert, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you having booze for dessert.
It's kind of also like an acceptable way of having a drink. You know,
yeah.
I'll have a Baileys.
Yeah, Freddie's got this story once where he like got drunk off a Baileys because he went to some event and it was like sponsored by Baileys, and he was like he had the worst hangover of his life because it was like he felt full and like had a headache. It was horrible.
So Laura, my friend, not Lauren, you're Lauren. My friend Holly tells the story where a couple of years ago we went to Berlin. And we booked this trip over to Berlin and we did a walking tour. Now, I love a walking tour.
Oh, me too.
And,
love it.
It was Berlin in December. It was freezing. So we're walking around, you know, Berlin Wall, all this, blah, 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 big group of us. And halfway through, we stop at this little cafe and he's like, you know, get refreshments or whatever. So I'm like, it's time for a fucking drink.
Yeah.
And obviously it's snowy a little bit and it's cold. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a Baileys. So I said, do you do them to go? I said, can I just get it in a plastic cup? And she said, yeah. So how many shots of Baileys would you like? So I was like, I just wanted a cup of it to walk around with.
Yeah.
So I went, well, how much is, and she'd got this like cup and I was like, how much is a cup? I don't know. And that like the rest of the group were behind me. And she went, how many shots? And I went, oh, I don't know, maybe 8? And she went, and this woman, genuinely in the queue, audibly gasped. And she went, oh, and Holly went, 8? And I went, oh, is that too much? Okay, 7. And then she was like, okay. And then she poured. Anyway, so I had this massive, like
half the bottle
of Baileys. Because I didn't really know measurements. I'm not very good with that. I'm probably better now. But like, I was like, oh, okay. So I was walking around.
You don't think about Baileys as a shot either.
No, you don't. You just think you pour it.
You just pour a bit in.
I was smashed on that walking tour. The second half of the walking tour, I can't tell you what happened. I don't know.
God.
I don't know what happened when that Berlin Wall came down because I was absolutely fucking slaughtered on Baileys. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful.
You were stood there like weeping into your Baileys, like, yes.
I mean, thank God we'd passed the bloody Holocaust memorial because I would have absolutely been just sobbing.
You'd have been like jumping between them.
Oh God, no! I'd put that in room 101. People who pose at the Holocaust memorial.
Oh God, they try and like sit on it. Yeah, I've witnessed that as well. And my last B, Lee, just really quickly, is just because I'm going to do it because if you're on YouTube, you can see. It's the bits. It's bits. So the 90s hair is back, isn't it? Right, everything 90s is back. So all weekend, girls going out. And they're wearing these corsets and combat trousers, which, you know, I can just about deal with. But the bits are back. I'm trying to do it. It's not working.
I was going to say, no one in Grimsby is wearing a corset, but go on.
Honestly, look out for it. You're going to see everywhere you go now. I can't even do it because my hair's up in a bun. But, like, with the bits, like the Spice Girls, the greasy bits, they're back. The greasy bits are back. And I'm not having it. It wasn't good the first time round. Don't do it to yourself, ladies. Tie your bits back.
I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to find a picture and send it you. I can't even do
The
it because
bits,
my
the
hair.
greasy bits are back.
There's going to be women going, oh God, I know what she's on about. The bloody bits. It's where you have your parting and then and you like just have two bits. Oh, awful.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, right.
Awful.
Like two little, like, stragglers.
Yeah, but like the part of the rest of your hair, but you've chosen to pull out the two bits and like curl them or whatever you've done to them.
Oh, see, I used to like it where sometimes my hair, if it was a bit longer, like a tiny bit would fall forward. And
Yeah,
it'd be
but it's like a thick bit.
Like
It's not
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
oh yeah, no, it's not like a strand.
It's like you've got a tight pony in and then you've pulled two bits. Oh, God. Put your bits away.
Say you've got a tight pussy. And I can't believe I've just said that over the pod. So
Oh
sorry
my
to everyone
God.
listening.
The puss. It's that one,
You've got
Ginger.
greasy bits, you've got a tight pussy. Now, so I'm going to quickly read out mine, and then I'm going to read out, because I promised I would read out some people from Instagram. So, I'm going to say people... Well, I'm sticking with the bee theme, okay?
Oh, lovely. Okay.
I've not got all bees, but let's stick... Another bee that I don't like is banter.
Yeah, the banter bus.
The worst is when someone will say something and then someone will get offended or upset and they'll go, oh, I'm only joking, it's just a bit of banter. It's just a bit of banter. You're like, no.
You're just being mean.
A dickhead.
Yeah, you're just being
Being an arsehole, and now you've not got the reaction you wanted and you're describing it as banter. So I don't like that. I also want to put into Room 101 people who say things like, I just say it how it is. I just say it how it is. Like, I am the type of person, right? I am the type of person that if I don't like you, I'll say it to your face. Like, I'll just say it. I'll just say it to your face. Like, because with me, what you see is what you get.
I was going to say, what you see is what you get.
Like, oh.
And if you don't like it, then you can leave.
Can't. And you know what? You know, like, life is short. Life is too short for two-faced people. What you see with me is what you get. And I tell you something, I will tell you. I'll be honest with you. And they're the very type of people who will then turn around and go, listen. They're the type of people who go, listen, right, you're the only one I've told this, so don't tell anyone. And you're literally the sixth person within that hour.
They're the bitches. Told. Yeah, they're the actual ones doing the part.
It's like the call is coming from inside the house, Karen. It is you.
They're just like trying to save themselves because they know that everyone knows it's going to come back to them when something gets leaked or something's been caught bitching. So they go, well, I'm always honest, so I wouldn't be surprised if you got me saying that because I always say what I mean.
Yeah. It's like, you know, if I don't like someone, I just go up to them and tell them. It's like, why? Why the hell would you ever
Why would you inflict that on the world?
It's just like a total stupid thing to do. Like, it's just barbaric. And my final one is, now I've learned recently, like, every week we have Parker, my gorgeous little nephew, who is just adorable. And my mum and dad have him a couple of times a week. They look after him. And mainly my mum does this. And a lot of mums do this. And he doesn't listen. He has no respect for authority, does Parker. But what she'll do is he'll go to touch something and she'll make this noise, okay? And the noise is this. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. And it's like polystyrene. It goes right through me. Every time she does it, I feel like I've bit into a profiterole, okay?
Oh, God.
And I said to her the other week, I said, listen, he doesn't stop when you make that noise. So that is affecting me more than anyone else in the house. Okay. It's literally like, it's awful. Like, you know, those women out of that character out of Little Britain where she used to go, Like, it's like
Yeah.
that. And
Oh,
she goes,
God.
and what he does is he just turns and he looks and he smiles and he carries on putting the fingers in the plug. Like, it's like, just move him.
He's been electrocuted 5 times.
Yeah. It's like an electric eel. Like, he is genuinely. And it's just, honestly, the sound. And I'll be on my laptop working and all I'll hear is, It's too much to handle.
You just
And
turn
I'm
around
that
and you go,
right.
listen, Leslie, I'm the type
said
of
to her the
person
other
that says
day.
it as it is. And I've got to tell you.
Yeah. Listen, honestly, I'm being honest now, right? I'm being honest.
And I wouldn't normally say this.
Stop it. You are the 5th person I've told today because I have literally want to scream.
Your mum is the worst, though, to tell her something's doing your headache, because she's just going to fucking do it more.
She'll
How
never
have you not
stop.
learnt this?
She'll
How have you not
never
learnt
stop.
this?
I know. She'll never stop. So I moved on to Twitter. Sorry, I read the Twitter ones, but I've got some ones I'm quickly going to read from Instagram. And
Go for it.
we should carry this on. So if people after this episode want to send in their Room 101s,
Yeah, because we did a
More than
little
happy to.
call out on Fab Life Pod, and there's some good ones. And also, my research was I watched a whole episode of Cilla Black on Room 101. So I'll discuss that next ep, because there's some
yes,
corkers.
Okay. Why?
It's-
What she put in? Oh,
Wow.
she didn't say flight attendants, did she?
No, but there is a flight story, and I'm like, that's clearly you, and you're just like saying it was someone
Okay,
else.
that's just.
So we'll
just
save
great,
that
okay.
because it's really. And I suggest you watch it before next week, and we can do a Cilla rep.
Okay. So, Adam Frisbee, said James Corden in any musical.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
he's said that.
that's a popular
Now,
one,
this
I would
is-
say.
This is a weird one from Lottie Louise. Says jelly. She says jelly. She doesn't
I
like
love jelly.
And yeah, I love jelly actually.
Might be a texture
And talking
thing,
of
though.
Shots earlier on. We used to have jelly shots. You remember jelly
Yeah,
vodka
I do
shots?
like. Oh, yeah, it's so good and so boozy.
So good. So
I think
good.
it's so good.
Sticking to the kind of food theme. Sorry, I tended to fuck that. Just clear my throat. Daniel Evans says, and I don't agree with this. Daniel Evans says celery. I love celery.
I love celery. It's ever so stringy, though, isn't it? Some people don't like that.
It is, yeah. Maybe that's what he means by it. Now, this one from Alison made me lol.
Go on.
Made me lol. She said, people who say spag bol.
I think I
I
say
found
spag
it so
bol.
funny. I know
think
my
I
mum
say
definitely says spag bol.
My
Yeah.
mum definitely
Oh,
says it.
Shall we have spag bol? Shall we have spag bol? She said, and she's just put it. She's given no explanation, but she hates people who say spag bol. And you know, it's one of those things that it explains so much without really, having to say anything. JS Wild Goose says mugs in Easter eggs. Why?
Oh my god, so true.
He just
It
wants
took me
to-
so long to break my cream egg in mugs that I got in a million Easter eggs every year. It's like, they don't even hold a good brew.
Yeah.
Pointless.
The Tescato says a controversial food one. This is controversial. I don't think you'd get this into Room 101. They say Yorkshire puddings. They say they're crispy air that take up half your plate. Crispy air. Now, I have to say, I love a Yorkshire pudding.
Me too.
I'm not putting that in.
No way. Covered in gravy. I had one in Harrogate. I had one in Yorkshire at the weekend. Tasted even sweeter.
We had oh yeah, they do like Yorkshire pudding wraps there as well, don't they, in York? People who stop at the bottom of the escalator, and we've also got people who stop. This is from Tomster. People who stop in the middle of the pavement. I hate that when you're like,
Me too.
they just randomly stop.
Just take yourself to one side, guys.
Stacey
you know
said
what I mean?
dropping litter.
Yeah, I hate that.
Stacey's is dropping litter. And Amy May says, my husband's snoring. I hope your husband doesn't listen to this podcast. I don't snore. I don't snore,
neither.
actually.
I
You
talk.
don't, do you? No.
I talk though.
I'm a little bit...
Not all the
Oh, yeah, I
time.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like, with snoring, I'm the same with hay fever. I feel a little bit elite because I don't get hay fever and I don't snore. Like, it's something that I wear as a badge of honour.
Me too. And then it means that I'm really room 101 about it when I'm talking about snoring. I'm like, God, I hate snoring. Oh, yeah. It's because I know I can say I don't.
Yeah, because people know. Yeah, you're like, oh, God, yeah, snoring. Room 101. Oh, awful. Hate it. Yeah, bye.
But talking in your sleep is... Talking in your sleep's like a bit quirky, so people are like, oh God, you really shit me up last night, or that was so entertaining, you were saying this and that, and I'm like, still kept you awake, but it's not as annoying as snoring, is it?
My friend once said she woke up to hear me saying, absolutely not. And she was like, well,
could have been about anything.
It was about
it's just you telling someone as it is, yeah.
They could have been asking me whether I snore. I was going, absolutely not.
No, darling.
Well, I've absolutely loved
Me too.
hearing the Room 101s. Really into it. Like, it feels like a weight off your chest, doesn't it?
It does. It feels so cathartic. And we do have a few on the Fab Life, because I put it out there earlier as well. Oh, so good. There's one person, actually, that said Julia Fox. Do you know who that is? Who is that?
Julia Fox. I know who Julia Fox is, yeah. She's recently got, like, she's the one who goes, like, I wrote it when I wrote Anka Jams, and it went viral.
What?
Anyway, she was like, Anka Jams, and I'm writing a book, it's a masterpiece. I don't know how she got famous, actually, but she goes, Anka Jams.
She sounds like an irritant.
Quite viral on Twitter, yeah. And
well, we can go through our Fab Life. The most recent one is from Rachie Sanchez, and she's first time round Ugg boots.
Yeah, and she adds that the bit she's added at the end is for me the clincher of why it would go into Room 101. When they've been walked out, walked on.
That's how you know the cheat.
And they're like caving in.
You also
themselves.
can't pick your feet up. You can't pick your feet up properly. I was walking behind a woman today, going to the shop actually, and she was like, shh, 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 shh. And I was like, oh my God, pick your feet up. Just pick your feet up. You've not got your slippers on. Yeah. You're outside in your trainers, pick your feet up. But yeah, that's a separate one.
Caroline says people who get up to go to the toilet when you're sat in a long row, like on planes or a theatre. Now, I feel like I wouldn't put that in, because what are you going to do, Caroline? Just get them to piss themselves? Like, they need to go to the toilet. They need to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they might be ill. They might need to be sick. You don't want that. What was I going to say? I forgot to mention as well, we were tagged 3 times, and then other people DM'd us when they saw that I shared it to say, oh my God, when I saw this I thought of you guys. And I was like half offended that we're clearly, people think we're alcoholics, 40-year-old alcoholics, but then also loved it. So there's this story that's been shared by all the Huns Instagram, so like Hunsnet and Love of Huns. So it was 2 separate accounts that the post went out today. And basically there was a woman recently who went to an Easter Sunday bottomless brunch for her 40th birthday. Great.
Love it.
And her friend, she was sat in like a corner, like bronquette seating. And you know, like you put your bags and your coats over that little corner, don't you, when it's curved. So her friend's jacket fell down the back. And she was like, no worries, I'll get it for you. So she reaches down and she falls down into the crevice. So her feet were up. You know, like in those quirky restaurants when they sometimes have like the legs of mannequins, like up like that with like heels on. So that's what it looked like. She looked like an art installation in this restaurant. And she couldn't get out because... she couldn't get out because it just fit her in. And the thing she said apparently was like, if I'd been a bit skinnier, I might have been able to get out by myself. So two fellas had to come and hoist her out by her legs. I'd have been like, oof. I think she had shorts on.
About that was, I would have been like, get me out as quick as possible because we are losing time on that bottomless.
I wonder if they give her them 10 minutes back. So apparently it took about 10 minutes because the blood must have been rushed ahead.
At the end, she got the bill at the end. Sorry, can we just have a little bit of, knocked off? Because I actually spent 20 minutes of this stuck in that hole. Like, you'd be mortified.
You'd be mad. And none of her friends helped her because they were all just laughing their heads off and filming it. Apparently you can watch it on Facebook. I know. Happy 40th.
Watch that right now.
You've got to watch it. And she's like this. She's just like loving it. She's such a good sport. She's like proper smiling on the thing, even though her hair's everywhere and stuff. She's so good at the picture with the legs. So apparently that's what people think me and you do when we go to bottomless brunches.
I think so. Well, God. I want to say that would be you, but it would be me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I would be the one not helping. I'd be the one
going
going live on
hen
Insta.
do, and we are gonna end this episode now. But we remember when we were on that hen do, and I was flirting with that really hot dancer, and I literally did a Del Boy where I like went to lean into the thing, and I didn't realise there was no glass pane in the window, and I fell through the window. Do you remember? Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I was like, yeah, and I was like, so how long have you been a dancer? And he was so hot, and I was like in a salmon fucking blazer on this boat watching the bloody burlesque thing. He's like, oh, I've been doing this, yeah, and I went, oh, I just love it. And like it was a window pane that was open, and I got my elbow. This story. I leant backwards and I fell into it, and like kind of like disintegrated into the window pane. Oh my God. And he walked off. He literally walked away.
He was like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
And I never saw him again. I nearly threw myself off the boat.
Funny that. It's a good job it wasn't like into the Thames, like you were still inside. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been episode 10. Episode 10 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. Do subscribe, do leave us a review if you like. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Leave us a comment. I always try and reply to them. I say try and reply to them. We get like 3 or 4, so I do have the time.
So up it, please, guys, with the comments, for fuck's sake. He's lonely.
It's so hard to get through them all, guys. It's so hard to get through them all.
And DMs are always open, so...
Yeah,
on Insta.
And until next week, have a lovely time. This has been Fab Life
with Lauren and Lee.